Welcome to another episode of Making Sense. So again, I have two guests with me today. With me, I have Rachel Nyman, who is a branch manager at our Esko location. And I have Christy Rice with me, who is an NBC customer. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Thank you.
To the both of you for joining. We'll start with Rachel so Christy can kind of see how this rolls a little bit. A branch manager, tell me a little bit about what you do on the day-to-day.
A branch manager wears many hats and does many different things. And so most of my day is customer and staff support. Mm-hmm. And then I also do volunteering over at the school and some community support with our branch giving, as well as different projects within the bank for enhancing the customer and the staff experiences. And then I lead, I coach, I manage, I fill in wherever I'm needed, whether that's the teller line or doing any banker support. And then I try to tie all of this to the organizational values and the strategic plan overall. So.
Oh my gosh! And she wanted notes. Okay, did you practice this?
Maybe a little.
Okay, I mean it's very, very well done. That was very good. So just in a nutshell, that's what Rachel does. And how long have you known or been working with Christy?
Sure. I started in Esko in January of 2015, and so that's almost 10 years now that I've known Christy and her kids and her husband.
So, Christy, did you bank with NBC when we were Republic?
Yes.
Okay. Have you always banked? Did you always bank with Republic, or did you move, or kind of
Since we moved up here, we moved up here about 13 years ago. And, when we got into the Esko area, we believe in doing things that are local. One, it's really nice support for your family. It's a great way to get to know your community. And so, your banks, your schools, your dental, things like that, you just really want to be local so you can get to know everybody. And as soon as I went through the bank and all the smiles and all the crazy ladies, I thought, oh, this is the bank for me.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how would you say that you most often bank with NBC? Like, are you going into the branches? Are you doing it online? Do you not do much banking?
Well, my husband sees numbers. I see words floating through the air. So he does everything online.
Okay.
And I do everything in person because I'm much more relational. And with 5 kids, I definitely need a village to help raise.
Yeah.
And so the banking part, it's really important for your kids to know what they're doing with giving, saving, and spending. And so when I met the ladies at the bank, I thought there is not a better place with incredible people that work with my kids. So my kids are special needs, some of them, and they need extra help with stuff. And they laugh at me because I am completely clueless when it comes to doing anything that has to do with numbers or counting. So I really needed to find the right people that would come alongside the kids and help them to understand the banking stuff and work along with us, to give them those skills when they got older.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what does that look like with working with her kids, and where did you start with them? And
a lot of it was the youth accounts through being minors and setting up their savings accounts, and they would come in and they'd need money for lunch or running to the dollar store, or stopping in during school, and they need a little something for whatever it might be they needed that day. So.
Yeah.
And now it's, some of them have grown up and got married and moved away, and some of them are still with us. So now they have jobs, and so we help them with that.
Yeah.
Learning the online banking and debit cards. And
that's cool that you found that trust in that staff, because I just think about too, if I were to ever have kids and, trying to teach them those things, it's hard, and having that trust in them that they're going to be telling them the right things is cool. And starting from such a young age, right?
And people that you can trust.
Yeah.
That was the key. And it wasn't just, this was Rachel's business. This was a group of women that came alongside my kids and treated them like people.
Yeah.
And saw their personalities and saw their challenges and the things that they needed to work on, that they still need to work on. And for me to be able to have a conversation with the women in the bank and say, you know, hey, I'm dealing with this, you know, how can we kind of put our heads together and figure out how to help them? And that's been really nice. I feel very supported in something that I wasn't really very good at.
Yeah.
And it's helped me because then they'll laugh, especially my one daughter, Sophie, is always telling me how to do things. And she's the one that still lives at home, and she's hilarious. And she says, you know, I have a financial lady. She helps me do everything. And I said, yes, she does. So, and that's Rachel. So she really enjoys going there, and they feel really comfortable. And that was the biggest thing. Because to me, I was always scared to be around anything that had to do with numbers.
Yeah.
Because it made no sense to me. And I never understood how to do the checking accounts the way that I should have. And I knew to not spend a lot of money and to not get in debt. But apart from that, I just wasn't very good at managing or budgets or anything like that. But luckily, I married my husband, who's a whiz at that kind of stuff. But I wanted our kids to grow up with not only a community supporting them and people that they knew that they could feel safe with in the community, but also somebody who would really help them with this aspect of finances.
Yeah. And so you have personal accounts with the bank. Have you ever, have the gals at Esko ever helped you with any like lending products or mortgage, or even like with the kids? Like, are the kids like looking to take out car loans? Like, did you ever do any of that type of stuff for Christy or her family?
I was trying to see, Jason handles all that online, and he would have talked to people about that. I'm usually doing the savings accounts and checking, and so that they know how to manage. This is how much you give. This is how much you're saving. This is how much you're using. Budgeting, a lot of budgeting stuff. And we worked on a lot of that stuff so that they were controlling their spending and not overly spending, things like that. Yeah, that's such a question for my husband. See, I'm not the numbers girl.
So when you moved back and you were looking for a new bank, did you choose Republic Bank because it was local? Like, just was that the only option in Esko?
No, I mean, we could have banked in Cloquet. We could have banked all around. But I kind of, when I came back to this area, well, we never lived in this area, but we lived in Minnesota. But when we came up to this area, there were so many diverse different areas that you could live that I remember I went to garage sales. And that's how I met people. So if you want to know about a community, go to garage sales in the summer and interview people. And so I interviewed people about schools and about, you know, where's your good dentistry and where's your good banking and where are your good doctors. And overall, Esko had a really good reputation. So did Cloquet. Some of the other areas around town or around the area, people warned me about that, you know, you don't want to go here, you want to go here. But Esko always came up as one of the first three, and so that's when we really started looking for places to live, schools to go to, and where to bank. It all seemed to gel together with Esko.
Yeah.
So that's why we moved there.
Okay, so I think you said this was like, what, 2015 when you moved back?
Around, I'm trying to think of when we moved here. It's been so many years. 13 years ago, maybe?
Well, I'm really going to try to rack the memory. So when you, walked into the bank, like, do you remember, like, what stood out to you? Like, what was like, this is where I want to
You know
bank?
that feeling when you walk into a room and everybody looks up at you and says, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Boom. That's what I had. It was a welcoming, glad to see you. And every time I walk in, they've been that way. And because I can't even remember I don't know my number to my checking account. I mean, that's how bad I am if I don't write it down or I didn't grab it. I can drive up. They know exactly who I am. They know all of my accounts. Half the time they know my schedule and what I'm doing, and they're, oh, so you need money to take out to do this? Or I'm like, yes, I do. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But that welcoming atmosphere when you walk into a business or a place is so wonderful, and my kids felt that.
Yeah.
So immediately, especially if you're special needs and you sometimes don't feel as welcomed or people look at you kind of odd, to have that feeling in a bank, in a business, where they're so inviting. But I do come from a line of family that they really instilled in me to get to know the people that are serving you, because they're so important, and to treat them with respect. And so I've always gotten to know the people that I'm working with. But this bank, to me, was particularly special. And I've just really enjoyed getting to know all you guys. So when she asked me to do this, it wasn't hard. to say yes, because over the years they've helped me with 5 kids over and over and over, at times when I wanted to pull my hair out, and they were super patient and wonderful, and I just felt really blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a huge kudos to you. Okay, so you mentioned earlier a little bit about volunteering in the schools.
Yes.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Sure. My background is actually in teaching middle school science, and so when I graduated college, my life took a different path at the time, and so I decided to try banking. And fast forward to when I started at Esko, I participated in Imagine It Days, which is where we community members come and help the seniors with critiquing their resumes and doing mock interviews. And through that, I met Joyce Bergstedt, and she's like this coordinator extraordinaire of Esko High School. And so she had invited me to teach at the FCS, or Family and Consumer Science class. They learn a lot of life skills, and I kind of was the kickoff to their finance unit, and so I come in once a year and teach Banking 101. Created a PowerPoint, and I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now. So.
Okay. Do you go in every semester, so twice a year?
Just once a year.
Once a year?
Yep, in the spring.
Okay.
So.
Where do you find, just out of curiosity, that these are high schoolers?
Yes.
Seniors?
I think it's a mix between 10th and 12th.
Where typically is their financial education knowledge? Like how much do they know?
There's a handful that answer the questions, and then there's most of them that just are like, oh, and they're getting a lot out of it. So,
I mean, the handful that answers the questions are obviously Christy's kids, because they've been well educated. But like, that's huge and so cool that you do that. Like, the fact that we don't have like a full finance class like that in high school, I think is just really doing a disservice to our kids. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, any last minute thoughts, advice, comments before we wrap up?
I just feel really blessed to have worked with some incredible ladies, and I thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk about it. There's not many chances. To be able to tell her. Well, yeah, there's not many chances where you can really, other than saying thank you in your busy life, to be able to come alongside and really thank somebody for what they have done. And with my 5 kids and all the stuff that we've been through, we'd never had to worry about the money aspect of it. My husband and I knew that in that area, we were really blessed, not only by financial advice, but by friendships. And so she even came to graduation. How cool is that?
So cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool. I love that. Rachel? How does it feel to be told that?
Feels very good.
Yeah.
And I knew having Christy here would just be a true encapture of what happens in Esko. And so thank you for everything you said and for coming with me today.
Oh, you bet.
And I'm so happy to be a part of your family's life. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get teary-eyed. I just I like live for this kind of stuff, so I'm here for it, you guys. Okay, I'll wrap up before we all start crying or something weird. Thank you to the both of you for joining, and we will see you next time.